In our Western lens, East Asian women are routinely fetishized for their perceived innocence.
And I have another option. We can be passport sisters.
White men who are perceived as nerdy or geeky or just lacking in masculinity.
From the way our conversations were going, that he was more into Asian women.
Most of these passport bros are leaving their countries to escape manhood.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. I got another good one for you today. Before we get into it, I ask that you please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to click the notification bell to ensure you get all of my videos as soon as I release them. Now, guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. We got her here today.
Contributes to the infantilization of East Asian women. Inspired by this comment. In our Western lens, East Asian women are routinely fetishized for their perceived innocence. And, yes, their presumed subservience to white men. And prevalent porn categories like the Japanese schoolgirl demonstrate this. But the equation of East Asian women to childlike qualities such as subservience...
You already see what her issue is right away, right? You already see. And you see the independent, I could do it all on my own self. The independent, I'm going to get my degree.
You know, if I'm independent, you independent, we can afford a nanny. We can afford a chef to come meal prep for us, because I just eat meal preps anyway. So we can afford somebody to do our meal preps. Like, we can afford this lifestyle to where it's not taking away, you know. So now that I'm independent, I'm working the same hours you working, you know what I'm saying?
In social studies, you're right, which really doesn't relate to anything. And I don't know this woman, but still, too smart for your own good, you get what I'm saying?
I only act like I know everything.
Same thing that happened at the beginning of time, if you know what I mean. Let's go.
And docility is nothing new. In fact, it's an imperialist fantasy. Many women of color are hyper-masculinized, but in the case of East Asian and Southeast Asian women, they are hyper-feminized.
It's not that they're hyper-masculinized. It's that they do hyper-masculine things. And then the women in East Asia do feminine things. So she's going to break down the feminine and the masculine qualities as she goes on. She's thinking, well, she's talking on a smart level, but she's not understanding. Guys see right through it. Guys see you're single, right? Guys see if you're not single. Guys see your independent womanhood. It's written all over you.
Like, we can afford to do that together, and we can still afford, you know, now that we're both independent making money, it's not all on you. So now we're going on vacations. So where are the arguments coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's life right now? Like, to me, it sounds amazing.
To where you're being masculine now and trying to prove someone wrong. Where a lot of times women from the places she's naming, I'll be honest, women in the Philippines, they don't play. But she's talking about East Asian that's over here, but they don't play, but at the same time, they're still feminine. You can be both, right? A woman can do both. But they don't see why guys leave. They'll never understand. She doesn't understand why the guy may have commented that to her to try to prove a point. And she's trying to prove him wrong, but she's getting too caught up in it.
At least in Western culture. Frequently passport bros and Asian fetish.
Their faces and bodies are really feminine. Many of them have a doll-like appearance. They also tend to be more ladylike compared to typical woman you may encounter in a Western world.
Frequently passport bros and Asian fetishists condemn Western women, although...
It says, and so all of that combined contributes to those feelings of wanting to squish their cheeks and kiss them. Well, yeah, it is true. They tend to be cuter. Seems like some hates there, though. You see it on the way she's commenting. But let me continue.
Most of the time they mean white women, and they idolize East Asian women for their perceived subservience and submissive nature. But in my own observation...
No, it's not. See what it is? Yeah, I get what she's saying. She's somewhat right about that. But that's what makes them perfect wives, right?
I want something feminine and delicate.
Their sweetness. And it's not fetishizing, how women like to say. It's femininity. It's feminine and delicate. So I want to see if she breaks down why women are so masculine.
I have noticed that there's a specific type of white male that does tend to fetishize East Asian women for these qualities. Oftentimes they are white men who are perceived as nerdy or geeky or just lacking in masculinity. So the hyper-feminine East Asian woman is a way for him to assert his masculinity.
No, that's nerdy or geeky or lacking in masculinity, right? Now, why are those guys going over to Southeast Asia? I see them out here all the time. Because women don't take them serious. Let me give you a breakdown. Because she doesn't either, right? She won't take those guys serious. Now, woman in the Philippines, I seen with my wife. My wife was in school. She had guys that were smart. She always liked the smart guys, right? I'm not saying all women are like that now. It's so modern now, all over the place. But and it's even corrupted here, guys. So you definitely got to watch out wherever you go. But my wife always liked the smart guys. The opposite between women in the West, what do they go for? Pookie and Ray Ray. There's a lot of women here like that. They like the smart guy. I see tons of women out here, even nowadays sometimes. I'm not going to say that it's straight traditional here. It's modern traditional, right? But I see them liking the not the white guys. I see them liking the nerd guys.
The movie The Social Network perfectly captures this kind of white male imperialist fantasy. In white male culture, a prevalent conviction about East Asian women is, oh,
guys, I'm not going to keep going with her because she's actually boring the video, but you guys get my point. Next clip.
And I have another option. We can be passport sisters. Like, I think men overseas or in other countries definitely approach women differently.
Dating in China. How's the dating experience in China for you as a black woman?
I live in Shanghai, by the way, and within maybe 2 months, I was like, I can't do this. Like a couple of weeks ago, went on a date with this really cool guy and in conversations, and I thought this was a really good date, but I could sense from the way our conversations were going that he was more into Asian women.
That was my first Asian.
Than he is into black women.
One guy was just like, I love big black women.
I'll tell you right there, that doesn't really, I don't see that as nothing. That was an Asian guy. I just don't like black women. And they're in China, so of course it's going to be like that out there.
You love big black women. Sir, goodbye. I'm African American, I'm black, so I'm brown. They're not as attracted to brown skin as they are to white skin. So they love them some Caucasian women, honey. Like, they love them some girls. They believe Americans are very open when it comes to. So things that they won't say to a Chinese girl, baby, they will feel comfortable saying to a foreigner. Like,
how would you say, like your dating experience has been so far as a person of color in Korea?
Well, you know what that is. What you gotta understand, coming over here, even in the Philippines, right? They probably have better luck in the Philippines. But going over to China, those guys just aren't looking for black women. It's just facts. And I wouldn't suggest any black woman to go over here, to be honest with you. But so I don't really look at that as nothing.
They either think we're like really like easy or like down to try like a lot of things. I don't know. I feel like they go in with them intentions and it's kind of like awkward or weird.
And it's bad and it's sad, man, because that's what they're seeing, right? Look at what guys see when they look in America. They see WAP. Do you know Cardi B was out here in the Philippines playing in the mall? These songs play in the mall.
I'm talking WAP, WAP, WAP.
And I'm sure they're in China too, not in the mall. But I heard it in the mall one day, guys. But these songs play in public, especially in the Philippines, of course they already know. But in China, they hear these songs too. So they see these songs, or say if they get a hold of YouTube, they'll see it. And they automatically assume, okay, they're down to go. So they compute what they see with what they see in person, and that's what you get.
Yeah, you telling with.
I feel like if they are dating foreigners, they're more likely to lean to white than black.
I am all too familiar with this rule in the Indian community. And you know what's worse? I am heavily attracted to men of this community, so I am all too familiar of the conversation of you're never going to meet my parents, but we can still date.
Keep in mind that your image is being shown worldwide. Passport sisters will only win in Caribbean countries and African countries where the men need green cards. The Jamaican men working at the resorts are your best option.
Man, that one right there was harsh, man, but I get it. That was harsh right there. Let me go on to the next video.
Hey y'all, so I want to give my overall thoughts and feelings on the Passport Bros. Let's talk. Hey everybody, my name is Candace. I talk about living in Istanbul, Turkey, the expat lifestyle. So let's talk about this. Dust and passports are only going to get you so far. Like dusty logic and a passport is only going to get you so far, and here's why. Most of these passport bros are leaving their countries to escape manhood in most instances. And since I live abroad, I get a chance to see what a lot of them are doing up close and personal. And
guys don't even escape manhood in most instances, right? The whole concept behind passport bros is escaping mentalities, not manhood, right? So I know she's talking about the guys that are going for dusty reasons. I get it. There are tons of guys that tend to go to, DR or other countries for sex. And that's not necessarily considered a passport bro. Passport bros are not traveling just for sex, right? That's passport tricks. It's a big difference. And it gets confused a lot. Right? Look at what J. Cole said. Boss and J. Cole, the passport bros. Passport bro. And we ain't tricking on passport hoes. Passport no. Right? Reason why that was said like that.
Sad to say, most of them are leaving a trail of dust and babies' mamas. Yeah. I have lived in 6 countries so far, including the Caribbean, and gotten a chance to really observe a lot of things when it comes to these passport bros. Or it was actually called the passport bro. For the record, I am actually shocked that the passport bros has gotten far where people all over the world even know about the passport bros. It's far where people all over the world even know about the passport bros. It's just really weird and bizarre how that happened. But from what I see going on, a lot of the passport bros.
So a lot of that's not passport bros. So if you're saying those guys that were traveling before, if you ask them if they're passport bros, they wouldn't consider themselves passport bros.
And trick women just because they are American.
You assume too much.
And feel like they can leverage the US dollar. And quiet as kept, I don't know how much longer the US dollar is actually going to be around. So they might not even be able to do that for very much longer. Who even knows? However, word on the street is a lot of the women are getting tired of them. I have friends in Choco, Colombia and other parts of Colombia, and they're just saying that they're being and treating them like prostitutes. The passport bros are traveling because they think that the women at home ask and require too much of them. So they want to go to another group of women that they feel are going to be naturally more subservient and take whatever they got or whatever they want to give. And what I have learned from my international travels and living in 6 different countries is that most women on the planet are naturally hypergamous and want a man who is a provider. Most women's families, especially their father and their brothers, are going to demand that
whatever, right? She has it confused. Guys are not going out there saying, oh, they're subservient. Do you know how many guys are getting married? And guys are doing that because they know it's more to life than dealing with a woman like you.